What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I am G11 and this is the Homie Talk Podcast. First of all, I want to give a thank you to everyone who's tapping into the videos. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe and share the videos. Really helps the channel. I want to get it promoted out there. And the only way to do it is with your help. Really there is no other way. I need your support, so please make sure you do that. Now that we got that out the way, I want to talk about what's happening down at the border. Now, unless you've been sleeping under a rock, the border has been wide open for like the past year. Thousands of migrants have been coming through every single month. And Texas, specifically that El Paso area, has gotten like no relief, right? Governor Greg Abbott has pleaded with the federal government, pleaded with the Biden administration to fix this situation, like actually give us some guidance. Let's get some borders up. Let's stop this flow of illegal immigrants because it is actually egregious with what's going on, right? And I want to tell y'all this, like personally, I'm all for people that want to immigrate to the United States the right way. But when you're just coming in illegally, right, you're not using the proper path to citizenship and you're taking up resources that I'm paying for with my tax dollars, I got a problem with that. And the other issue is we don't know what's coming through that border. We don't know if we're getting criminals. We don't know if we're getting drugs. It's a big issue, okay? And there's no way to really track and do background searches on the thousands and thousands of people that are coming in, all right? That's the real issue here. But you got these haven cities that exist, so Governor Greg Abbott of Texas is like, okay, y'all are haven cities? Cool. He started putting them on buses and sending them by the busload back to back. No relief for these haven cities. So you got Chicago, you got Denver, you got places like New York that have been getting absolutely demolished by what's going on, okay? Governor Abbott, he said, look, we ain't getting relief, y'all ain't getting relief. I'm going to make y'all understand just how serious the situation is down at the border. And you know what? I applaud him for it. He's doing what's in the best interest of his state. And also the border of the United States. Texas is right on the border, and he's not getting any support. So finally, this all came ahead to recently when you had 3 migrants. I believe it was 2 children and a woman that drowned in the Rio Grande as they were trying to cross an area that was actually boarded up. Now, the conflict comes into play because the Border Patrol was denied access by the state to that area in order to try to provide some type of support to those migrants. And people are calling Greg Abbott inhumane for doing this. They're trying to make him out to be the bad guy. I'll say this, say what you want, right? But this man is about protecting the border and stopping this crazy flow of immigrants that's been going on. He did not force that young lady to bring her kids across a dangerous river and try to deal with the odds. That's not his fault, all right? I know there's a moral aspect to this, but it's a bigger issue at stake here. Literally, I know I'm going to get some downvotes. Some people are going to think I'm insensitive to it, but really it's not his fault. The countries that these folks are coming from, they need to handle that shit. Don't bring that here where you're forcing your people to flee and swim up rivers to try to get to freedom. I'm just saying. Anyways, let's check out the article and I'll give my thoughts as we go. So this article is courtesy of CBC. I had to look around a couple different websites because a lot of what I saw is just painting Greg Abbott to be the bad guy. And you already know the news can be biased. They can be very influenced depending on what network you're looking at. So I had to try to find a neutral article. I'm not even sure if this is fully neutral, but we'll find out as we go. Just on the surface, it looked that way, right? So check it out. White House, Texas exchanged accusations and blame after drowning deaths of 3 migrants. 2 children and 1 woman died Friday trying to cross the Rio Grande near Eagles Pass, Texas, for those of y'all familiar with the area. So in this photo, you got the National Guard out there. I think they mobilized the National Guard from like New York as well to come out and try to secure this border. They've been building up wire fence and everything. Like they've been busy as trying to make sure this is secure. So after Texas fenced off a park along the U.S.-Mexico border and began turning away Border Patrol agents, Republican Governor Greg Abbott explained why at a campaign stop near Houston. We are not allowing Border Patrol on that property anymore. This is straight up from the Gov. Right, he said he's had enough is enough, right? Border Patrol isn't doing it. He said we're going to take this into our own hands. He relayed frustration over migrants illegally entering the U.S. through the border city of Eagle Pass and federal agents loading them onto buses. We said we've had it. We are not going to let this happen anymore, Abbott said. Later that night, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security said 3 migrants, a woman and 2 children, drowned after Texas officials physically barred Border Patrol agents from entering Shelby Park. Now, it's interesting that they're trying to tie this together like that. So you have 2 separate events. Listen to me. You have 2 separate events. So you had the migrants drowning, and who's to say if the Border Patrol agents would have actually been able to save them or not? We don't know. There's still some details missing there. But you have them drowning and then the border agents being barred off. You know, two separate incidents don't necessarily have to coincide in the same thing, okay? The issue is the Customs Border Patrol agents are not deporting these folks. They're just bringing them. They're letting them in and putting them on the buses. And he said enough is enough. If the federal government won't do it, I'm taking it in my hands. I'm stopping this. And unfortunately, I don't think that's his fault. Like, people just died. They died crossing a very dangerous river trying to get over here. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, let's get back to the article. Mexican authorities pulled the bodies from the water on the other side of the Rio Grande. So they might have even just drowned on the Mexican side. Like, come on. The weekend deaths intensified tensions between Texas and Joe Biden's administration. Democrats accuse Abbott's aggressive actions to curb illegal crossings as putting migrant lives at risk. Now, the language is interesting there. It almost sounds like they're putting the lives of non-U.S. citizens above U.S. citizens. Let me read that again. The weekend deaths intensified tensions between Texas and Joe Biden's administration. Democrats accuse Abbott's aggressive actions to curb illegal crossings as putting migrant lives at risk. That is actually wild that they would say that. He's not doing anything other than securing the border. The migrants are putting their own lives at risk, jumping in this river, trying to get over here. I'm just being as objective as possible, right? Shelby Park lies in a major corridor for migrants entering illegally from Mexico. Okay, so I totally understand why he put some physical barrier there, right? It's at the center of Abbott's aggressive attempts to stop them, known as Operation Lone Star. U.S. Border Patrol must have access to the border to enforce our laws, White House spokesperson Angelo Fernandez said in a statement. Say that 5 times fast. Angelo Fernandez. Sheesh. The Texas Military Department released a statement late Sunday disputing the U.S. government's accounts, calling them wholly inaccurate. At the time that Border Patrol requested access, the drownings had occurred. Mexican authorities were recovering the bodies, and Border Patrol expressed these facts to the TMD personnel on site, the department said. The fact is, the deaths are because of Biden's open border magnet, Abbott said separately on X. I kind of agree, right? If we didn't have such a lax border policy right now, we wouldn't see this massive flux of illegal migration, people trying to come across, because they know they're going to be able to stay. They know they're going to be taken care of. They know these safe haven cities are going to take them in. So now where are we at? Well, the feds are preparing to take Texas to court. So the Biden administration stuck to its initial account Sunday, saying in a letter to Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton that Texas denied BP agents access before they knew the migrants died, in a direct contradiction of Texas's version of events. Homeland Security said agents at the time knew only that the migrants were attempting to cross the river. Texas has demonstrated that even in the most exigent circumstances, it will not allow Border Patrol agents access to the border to conduct law enforcement and emergency response activities. That's the Homeland Security General Counsel. Meyer threatened legal action if Texas doesn't restore access by the end of Wednesday, which is today. So there's probably going to be another update coming out if it hasn't already. But this is really heating up, man. I don't know if we'll eventually end up with a standoff. What's going on here? But I tell you what, the governor of Texas, y'all can say what you want about him. Y'all might say he's a psychopath. Y'all might say he's crazy. But he is literally the only one standing up to do the right thing for our country as a whole. Because the federal government right now is not doing it. They are totally ignoring it. Like I said, it's an election year. They probably are trying. There's probably a different motive behind the scenes. So you guys really got to think about the big picture of what's going on here. Why would the federal government allow so many illegal migrants into the country? Who's making the money off of all these migrants? Right? We kind of talked about it a little bit in the previous episode. You guys remember? There was like I think certain agencies were getting paid off of VA money to take care of migrants. What kind of shit is that, right? So really, I want you guys to take a deep dive and think about what's actually going on. Consider who you vote for in these upcoming elections. Get out of your emotions and look at the facts of what's actually going on. Don't let the media, regardless of who it is, stir you one way or the other. Look at the facts of the situation, all right? That's all I got to talk about for tonight. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you like this type of content, I'll see you on the next one. Until then, I'm out of here. Peace.